Alright, this video is to review the Dinosaur Lapbook that we just did. Up above the video in my blog, there's a link to the printables for the lapbook and the printables for the lesson plans, and it is pretty much what we followed to a T. I do recommend, if you're going to do this lapbook based on that website, that you buy the main book, which is What Really Happened to the Dinosaurs by John Morris and Ken Ham. The lesson plans follow this every day. You'll need it daily. I was able to snag it on Amazon for $4 or $5. Very, very worth it. We also had a couple of other resources that we used that were biblically based, and we read through them with the kids, picked out bits and pieces of them, and the kids have enjoyed looking at them and reading through them. But the one by Ken Ham is the main one that's recommended for the lapbook, and it would be very handy for you as a teacher to have it. The lapbook is assembled as a double lapbook. There's a link in my blog here to show you how to assemble a double lapbook if you're not sure. I had to look it up on YouTube, so don't feel bad if you also needed to look it up on YouTube, because I did not know what a double lapbook was, and it was really very simple, and I was embarrassed afterwards, but such is life. That keeps me humble. All of these components were printed from the lesson plans and the lapbook on that link. We went through the days of creation, just reiterating to the kids that dinosaurs were made on day 6 with all the other land animals, unless of course they were a flying dinosaur or a water dinosaur, in which case they would have been made on day 5. There were several of these matchbook flip downs to put in the lapbook, giving definitions of what different words were. Dinosaur actually means terrible lizard. It's probably one of the kids' favorite facts and the most remembered thing that we learned that I can see in their little heads. Talked about what a paleontologist is and what they do. The book by Ken Ham does a really nice job of giving different ideas of what might have happened to make the dinosaurs extinct. But it doesn't say for sure, because nobody really knows for sure. There are a lot of ideas, a lot of guesses, but biblically there is no one certain answer, and scientifically scientists can't even narrow down what exactly happened. So I appreciate this wheel. We talked about all of these things, and I appreciate this wheel, that this helps them remember that there are many different ideas of what might have happened to the dinosaur, but there is no one thing. We took a day and measured. We got the tape measure and we stretched it out across the house, and we measured different types of dinosaurs. Our house, I don't think, was long enough to measure the T-Rex. It would have gone out the kitchen window, we decided. This was a really fun day for the kids. When we did this, Xavier wanted to know what was taller, a giraffe or a different certain type of dinosaur. So we had to look up what a giraffe, how tall a giraffe was, and we compared it, and the dinosaur won. Based on what we know about dinosaurs, we think that they are probably reptiles. That's what we learned. And so this little flip-flap book goes through what it means to be a reptile and the characteristics that reptiles have. The lesson plans gave the scripture reference for the description of the behemoth in the Bible, which we think was probably describing a dinosaur. So they got to make this book to remind them what a behemoth was. And then after we read that, I had them draw a behemoth from their imagination based on this description. The word dinosaur actually wasn't coined until the mid-1800s, so it is no wonder that the word dinosaur isn't actually in the Bible. These are a couple more match book style flip downs. Favorite fact and what it means to be extinct. This book talks about where the fossils for different dinosaurs have been found, giving the kids an idea of the climate and the atmosphere that different dinosaurs might have lived in. Xavier was most excited because one of the ones he chose was found in Antarctica, and he thought it was pretty cool that it was found in a cold place. We talked about what dinosaurs might have eaten before the fall and after the fall. A lot of people think that because dinosaurs had big teeth, they were ferocious meat eaters. And they may have been after Adam and Eve sinned and were taken out of the garden, or after the flood of Noah. But biblically, we know that before the fall, dinosaurs and man ate plants. It says it very, very clearly in the Bible. And so it was fun to get to talk to the kids about this. We also talked a great deal about whether or not dinosaurs were on the ark. And of course, biblically we believe that they were, because Noah was to take 2 of every animal, and that would include dinosaurs. So there's no reason to believe that they were not on the ark. This just gives different facts about dinosaurs. I let the kids choose their own facts if they wanted to write on every one. These are like memory or concentration cards. I only printed 1 set for each child because each child did their own book, so they could combine them together and play memory if they wanted to. Every day that we colored these, we would look up the dinosaur on just on Google Images and get an idea of what scientists think that it looked like, and try to color them as factually as possible. I know that Natalie snuck a couple of pink and purple dinosaurs into her pack. And you know, there is no one here on this earth that knows what dinosaurs look like, so I suppose everything is still left to interpretation a bit. Xavier also created a book. A lot of people have their children work together. We did work together and do the same components of our books every day, and then assembled them at the end of the week. But I had them each do their own. It works better for us. I could be a little bit sterner and make them do a combined lap book, but they really enjoy having their own to show their dad, and so I let them each do their own. Before we glued anything in, I had them lay everything out so that they could make sure it fit, and then we glued it in. So his aren't in the same order as hers because they did that separately. And then I happen to have foam dinosaur stickers on the shelf, if you'll believe it, and so we just added those as a little fun extra. This unit was done at the request of my 6-year-old Natalie. She really, really wanted to learn more about dinosaurs. We touched on it last year, but just didn't get into it very deeply, and so I decided before school started this week that we would take last week and do just a bit, just this week-long unit study. Was very, very thankful to find the biblical resource to print off for free on the internet. And like I said, snagged this book on Amazon for $4 or $5. It was worth every penny to go along with the unit. So